There we are. Hey, everybody. Margaret, you probably want to shift over. You're getting cut off.
Sorry, there we go.
So right now, looks like let's do that. That might. Oh, okay. We'll just move that way. We're kind of just feeling this out. This is the first time we'll be using StreamYard Classics as kind of the pro on this. We'll see. I don't know how many people are going to chime in or not. A couple people reacted, but we'll see how this works. So I figured at worst case, I just kind of go over some of what we're planned for virtual DragonCon, and hopefully might get some people to ask questions. And if they do, great. If not, we will just kind of clue everybody in. So on what's going on. I was hoping they would tell me like if people were in here. It doesn't. That's really frustrating.
Yeah.
So interesting. So
if you are here, say something in chat. Let us know.
That's a very valid point. Thank you. So yes, that would be really good to know. And if I noticed the chat feeds over, like even the comments that were done before we went live came over into this. So, and we're also live on YouTube too. So interesting. So that was a whole different thing. And I see.
Oh, okay. In comments instead of chat, we can see Mike and.
Interesting. Oh, interesting. Donna. Okay. We'll see how this goes. So I wanted to give an idea. I think a lot of people have heard some of the details of what DragonCon is doing for virtual DragonCon. Hi, Kevin. Yay. Somebody else is alive out there. But I figured I'd kind of give the rundown on what to expect from us. And they would give me practice on using StreamYard. So thanks to Joe from Classics for introducing me to it. It seems pretty cool. So it's going to be an interesting experiment. So the con itself is going to be running 3 tracks of stuff all weekend, basically 24 hours. There's going to be a Classics track, which is not Joe's track, but is going to be panels from previous DragonCons, a little more sense of things like that, guest panel. Oh, well, don't worry, it's Steph. If you drop, and then just come back in if it comes back up. So Steph has been having some internet problems. And I should probably introduce myself. That would probably make sense. But I'm Kelly Arkins. I'm the director of American Science Fiction Fantasy Media. So I didn't see what Mike said. Is it not showing all of the comments?
So Mike asked if there was a list of panels and if he can.
Oh, from earlier. I see. Okay. So that's the weird thing about this. I am going to be talking about some of the panels that we're going to be doing. So that'll give a sense of some of those things too. So then we are actually and Steph dropped and she'll be back, I'm sure. So we have already recorded 2 panels for that official that official DragonCon TV broadcast that they're going to be doing for the fan tracks. All the fan tracks are participating, and they're going to put that schedule out so you know where to find them and when to watch those panels. So we have already recorded panels on, let me see my little note, that we did. We already did a panel on Crisis on Infinite Earths, and that will be during the convention. We have also already done a panel on The Expanse from the past season, and that will also be running during the convention. Next week, we're going to be recording a panel on the Umbrella Academy, since, I'm sure many of you have already binged it all. I know I did. Absolutely. So that we are going to be doing Tuesday. We have one more that is our What Do Superheroes Do During a Pandemic contest, but I don't have a lot of entries yet. So if that doesn't go off, because if we don't get enough entries, it's kind of hard to have any kind of competition. Then what we're going to do is probably do one of the panels that we were going to do live during convention weekend to that. So with that in mind, though, we have a lot of shows to cover. I mean, Margaret, I mean, have you thinking about how many panels that we run? I know you've kind of, Margaret's a new member of our track, although she's a frequent visitor. So, and has been on many of our panels. And I was hoping we'd have some other staffers here so that you guys could all get some FaceTime, since we're not going to get to see each other otherwise this year. But how many, like, I know, geez, I'm trying to think around how many panels besides guest panels that we run every year, and especially since we went to 2 rooms.
We've got to be close to 70 over the weekend.
I think with guest panels, it comes into the 60 range.
Okay, I was trying to think. We've got, because we do have dead space when there are 2 guest panels sometimes.
Yeah. Well, not as much as we used
not as much as it used to be. I'm trying. So we basically have what, 8.5, 9 hours of programming. 12, 10 to 10.
If we usually go to 11. So yeah, it usually is 12 hours a day, and 2 to 3 to 4 panels in an hour. So depending on guests and things like that. So, but
a lot of content.
That is a lot of content. And with the boom in our wonderful genre, there are lots of shows that we cover. So that makes it a little crazy. I was joking with some of the other directors that have less shows. Like I was talking to Brandy, who runs the Star Wars track, and I was like, you have one thing to cover. It must be nice. I'm like, if I miss one thing and another thing doesn't get covered. So it gets a little crazy. So we're certainly not going to do that kind of panels this year. So we are going to be combining some things. Some things will unfortunately get left off. Some of our events are a no-go. We have been told absolutely no sing-alongs. So sadly, you'll have to put your own playlist together and do your own sing-along. No heroes, villains, and humanity game this year, because that would be really difficult to do. So none of that kind of stuff. But we are going to be doing a couple of panels. We are going to do some building up to the convention too, which I will probably see about rebroadcasting during the convention itself. So we are this weekend. We are going to be doing Crisis. That's what we did last. We're going to be doing Passing the Torch, which we're going to be looking at a lot of the heroines from the CW shows and kind of how we've seen. We started off with Arrow and Flash, and we're kind of Legends, and now Supergirl and Batwoman and Stargirl. Suddenly we have all these female-led superhero shows, which is pretty awesome. So we're going to have a panel on that on Sunday night at 8 p.m. It's going to be a live panel like this one. And we're going to be, Donna is going, who I think is here. She's going to be leading that panel, and we have some good panelists that are going to be sharing in, offering their thoughts, and you are welcome to chat like we are right now to offer your kind of insight on some of these things. That is this Sunday. Then next Sunday after that, we are going to be doing a similar live panel on Carnival Row. So we've got the people already set for that. So that should be a lot of fun. That was definitely a show that I really wanted to cover, and I was glad I was able to, since it's kind of
so beautiful.
It really was, and it was unique, which is such a treat, I think, nowadays, to see something that's a little out of the box.
Did you know that Audible did a prequel?
I know, but you can only get it if you're an Audible subscriber.
I can share it with you.
Yes, please. I was literally just looking at it and going, oh. So, but I do understand it's a prequel, but it doesn't make as much sense unless you've seen Carnival Row.
I think it's fine. It introduces the character, but it really only focuses on the two. And now my brain is just totally.
Yeah, I literally was looking at it like yesterday. So
but it's
Vignette. No,
Vignette and
the other woman. So it was her
So
friend,
I
right?
should remember.
I am planning on trying to get a rewatch done before that somehow. So we'll see if that manages to come off. So that is going to be on the 16th that evening. I am waffling a little bit on the panel on the 23rd. I am tentatively planning on doing Doom Patrol, which has been phenomenal as always. This if you haven't watched Doom Patrol, find a way to watch it. It's one of the quirky, fun, bizarre, but still awesome superhero shows out there. And I definitely want to encourage you guys to check in that. I have not totally set all the panelists for that. So if it is something, there is going to be a Carnival Row second season. Selena's asking. There is, but who knows when that is going to be at this point. So
I think they had started filming before shutdown.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, they could have. There is a lot of oddness in some of that. My understanding is they have absolutely committed to that. There's a couple of shows that we have heard are already picked up for second seasons.
They did start filming in November, so we may get it sooner than we think.
That would be nice. I mean, Amazon's got a lot of irons in the fire right now, so it'll be interesting to see what they pull off. So, Stephanie coming back in. So I am planning on Doom Patrol on the 23rd. So that is going to be, like I said, I haven't totally set the panelists for that. I do have a good number of people who would like to be on it based on the polling I did earlier. So if there is somebody, if you did not already let me know and you are available on that Sunday night, you can always drop me a note either on Facebook or through the track email, which is, I really need to put that in a little banner. AM Sci-Fi, not spelled the way the TV channel is, at DragonCon.org. So you can also let me know through that if you did not already do the polling for that. So that is Doom Patrol on that date. On the 30th, which is the weekend before DragonCon, since DragonCon is late this year, I'm planning on doing a endgame recovery kind of thing. So there we go. There's Stephanie back.
Sorry, our internet went out again.
The infamous phones framing. So
yeah. Sorry.
No worries. So that is on the 30th is going to be our endgame recovery, the COVID episode. So we're going to look at kind of all the fun, everything that's been happening and all the news that we know of as far as Marvel itself goes. Of course, we've had Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which will be tying up shortly fully. And we also, of course, we know that Black Widow is still put off. They haven't announced what they're doing yet with that. Considering the news that came out about Mulan, who knows what's going to happen with that. So we'll talk a little bit about that, kind of now that we've had a lot of time to process some of these things and we're kind of living through this whole experience. We'll kind of get some perspective as far as that goes. So that is on the 30th. I have lots of people who want to be on that. But again, if that's something you are interested in and you didn't let me know before, you can do that through the usual things that I was saying before. So let me type that really quickly. This way I can drop it in at appropriate times. So there. So yes, you can always send me an email there if you weren't on a list beforehand. And I'll pop that up again at a later point. So, but as far as the rest of this goes, for the con itself, those are kind of the pre-con build-up kind of things. During the con itself, my plan which is a little changeable at this point, is I either am going to try to run, if I'm feeling masochistic, 3 panels a day, which is still a lot. I might put it down to trying to do record some of them and broadcast them that weekend, but I will definitely be doing at least 2 per day on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of that con weekend. I know many of the other tracks are also doing live panels as well as our official DragonCon stuff. So this is my tentative breakdown. Some of them were in the survey that I did. Some of them were not, but just to kind of give some heads up. So I am assuming schedules will work out. I am planning on Friday on doing Watchmen, doing a panel on that. Doing our, we're going to see if this pulls off on Friday, is the One True Pairing panel with Jeff Burns. So we're going to be doing that panel live. We'll see how that works. It was a lot of fun last year. I got a lot of people really enjoying it. So we'll see how that goes. And then we will also kind of do a series wrap up for The Good Place. So that was not on the polling, and it usually gets a pretty good response. So that's definitely another one of those. If you are interested, let me know. Like I said, I have that tentatively planned for Friday, which is the 4th of September. As far as Saturday goes, the plan is Westworld. So we're going to probably be talking about that, kind of where it's, kind of the whole process. I have a few people that are definitely interested in that. Again, if you didn't let me know, that was on the polling. But if you are still interested, reach out. So, and a newcomer that I want to do, which it's got a lot of quiet following, and not all of it is genre, but hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I plan to do a panel kind of with a fun tone. We're going to do a Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist on Saturday. So that was definitely not on the polling, but I had a lot of people who are kind of like, hey, would you do this? And I love the show. It is not strictly a comedy, certainly not if you haven't seen it. But it is a lot of fun and heartbreaking all at the same time.
That last episode just put me under.
The first episode had me crying. So, Selena, I don't have it all yet, but I will once I come up with the full schedule and everything and have it all booked in StreamYard. I wanted to kind of make sure everything. Well, actually, let me test this. I'm going to test with you here. So there we go. So, that's pretty cool. So Selena's asking about joining virtually. So what we're going to do is we are going to probably, as I get all the schedule set in place and get it all set up and confirm whether or not we're in conflict with some of the other tracks, as well as our own track. So since we have official panels on the DragonCon channel, I want to make sure that we don't schedule any of our live panels against the panels that DragonCon TV is showing. Which adds another whole
to
this. So yeah, I love Zoe too. It's pretty awesome. So sweet. So it's good to see that you guys are into that. So I have a couple people interested in doing that one. I'm not sure we can get away with singing. Who knows? That one is also the day, because simply there is no way to kind of fit everything in as far as all the CW shows. We are kind of going to do an amalgamation of all the CW heroes. What I'll probably do is kind of, we'll do it a little longer of a panel. It'll probably be literally like 15 minutes per show, and we'll kind of hit them hard and fast. Unfortunately, Arrow being that its final season, there's just not enough hours to do these all. But it looks like that is my plan for trying to do, Flash and Arrow and Supergirl and everything. That's why I'm trying to do some of these extra little bits around the convention and around building up to it. because that's a lot of time all on its own. But I'm figuring maybe an hour and a half for that panel. So we'll probably trade out. Maybe we might even have people dropping in and out. We'll see how that goes. But that is set for Saturday of con weekend. So, but yeah, about an hour and a half, and we'll try to hit all of those. Probably Black Lightning too. Lots of things. So bring in some of those aspects for Sunday. The tentative plan is Lost in Space. So we had second season on this year, and then of course they have now announced that we are going to get a third and final season coming up next year. So it'll be interesting to see them wrap up the Robinson story. Lots of feelings, good and bad, about this year. So we'll kind of see where that goes as far as discussion. And I really wanted to do a panel on Raising Dion. So we are going to be doing a panel on that on Sunday. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. I do recommend it. It's a little different. It's another based off of a graphic novel. I thought it was really well done. And I thought, considering the extraordinary situation, I thought that the characters seemed to play very true, at least from my perspective. So I hope to get some good insights along those lines. And then finally, we're going to do a Teen Titans panel. I hesitated, but I did get a lot of people who were like, oh, please. And I am a fan of the Titans. So decided kind of at the last minute to probably that would be the last panel. There were other shows we covered that had new episodes, but I didn't get a lot of feedback from people being interested, like Avenue 5, some other of these that people were like, yeah, well, yeah. So I decided, because of the time constraints, to not go ahead and try to do those panels. So unfortunately, that's with the limited time frame. I mean, and that's still 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're still, even with the recorded panels and the live panels, we're still looking at basically 17 panels overall, still somehow managing that during virtual DragonCon. So hopefully that will give you guys a little perspective on some of those things. But yes, and that will be an option. I will post all the schedule once we get it more nailed down on some of these things. So Margaret, Steph, do you want to kind of chime in with any thoughts or perspectives?
No, it sounds great.
Yeah, well, it sounds good as long as my internet cooperates, or I'm going to have to go to the office.
Yeah, I understand that so far. Mine is stable and hasn't died on any of the recordings, which is kind of a scary thought. But does anybody out there in chat? We have a couple people out there. Anyone covering the boys? Yes, this is the trick with the boys. We did cover it last year when we had new content. Unfortunately, the boys is coming out literally con weekend. So it's kind of hard to cover. I mean, we could hypothesize. I know certainly we'll probably be binging it too that weekend, whether we get all the way through, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody too. So we will kind of probably look more into covering it next year when we're all back together.
Yes.
Because I don't think we're going to have anything new, even if the season is amazing and they're like, yeah, absolutely, we want to do another one. With COVID, I don't think we'll get anything new between now and then.
You know, a lot of people, even if we don't get to cover it as a track, a lot of people are doing live watches now.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be something that if you know, when we're all together virtually, you could drop in a comment and say, hey, we're going to watch from X to X. Want to join us on Twitter or Facebook, make a group, whatever. I've done a lot of those with like the Magicians and other things.
That's a great idea. And I know I did a Netflix party with some of my coworkers. So we could always do something like that too if people are interested in doing some of those things. I mean, we could probably just start something. I'm not sure Amazon has some of those. We are absolutely doing, Jackson is asking about Umbrella Academy. I will kind of just repeat that. We are going to be recording Umbrella Academy, and it will be broadcasting during the convention on the Fan Track channel. So that we are absolutely going to be covering it, just not in one of these live sessions. It's going to be an official panel on the Fan Track channel for DragonCon. So, but all right. Anybody else have any other questions? This is the great time to kind of drop them in. It'll probably be up on Facebook afterwards. I don't want to take us, too long on some of these things, and it is pretty changeable. I will fully admit that. So as things kind of get worked out, but like I said, if there was anything that you were like, oh wait, you're doing this, like Zoe and some of those other ones I mentioned that were not on the survey, like I said, to reach out to me. I will share our wonderful, my wonderful Trek email here, which, oops, there. Got to remember what these things are. There we go. So you can, and I have a typo here. Hang on. That's not very helpful when I have a typo.
It's Friday.
It is. I think I would just fix it. It was only forgetting the one I. So that's what I get when I'm trying to type sideways. So you can email me at that track address if you have any questions or comments, or like, oh my God, please do this. So definitely that is an option as far as that goes. And some of you I am friends with Facebook on, or I wouldn't say clutter up the thread on the post because I might miss it. It's better to email me directly. So that's probably the quickest and easiest. And then I have a record of it so I can come back to that. So DragonCon is trying to encourage their attending professionals and guests that we've had previous years. So they will probably get a little more priority as far as panel choices because these are people who commit, their professional time a lot of times. So they will probably get the priority, but I do want to encourage everybody who, if you've never been on a panel, this is a great safe way to do it too, while we're all kind of sitting in our homes. So you can always look at doing that as an option as well. So well, a lot of people, I let go some of my vacation time that I wasn't going to be using, but other people I know have said, I'm just keeping it. So what are you guys going to be doing on DragonCon weekend, Margaret and Stephanie?
Depending on when the lease for the new office gets signed, I may be moving. It depends.
I'm headed back to Florida.
Go ahead, Margaret.
I said I'm headed back to Florida, so I'm going to be dodging hurricanes probably DragonCon weekend.
Oh, let's hope not. Let's hope not. That would.
It's because I'm going home.
Oh, I see. Just because they'll target you.
Yeah, I'm not wanting it to happen. It's just because it'll be the most inconvenient time, so therefore it will happen.
That's true. They are often good about that kind of thing. So that's why they're named after people, I think.
Yes.
There's no more yes. Nobody could pronounce it.
So, all right. Other than that, I think that's probably about it. Like I said, I didn't want to go tie this up too long since people will probably want to drop in and watch it as we go or afterwards. So if you do have any other questions about what the plan is, it is not just like we tell you every year for the con itself. Nothing is set in stone until you walk out of the door. So that hasn't changed just because we're virtual this year. So just kind of keep that in mind that there could be shifts and things.
Subject to change.
Yeah, absolutely. So just keep that in mind. There are a couple things kind of floating around. If there is something you are like, oh my God, she's not covering it, what am I going to do? Let me know. I'm not saying that I can't shift things. I've had a couple other ideas and suggestions. And like I said, I do have one that's kind of iffy right now. So could see about some changes, but that's always an option. All right. Any last words from the two of you?
Nope, nothing on this end.
Looking forward to it.
Should be a interesting year. So,
there is a reason that is a curse.
And I think we've all seen that this year.
Yes. May you live in interesting times is very much a curse, especially in this year.
Whether it's cannibal ants or murder hornets or
and zombie cicadas.
Right. Oh, and super volcanoes, and I can't even think of all the different things. So
yeah.
Well, thank you, Selena. I appreciate that. So, but yeah, everybody else, good luck and keep staying socially isolated. But at least we can talk through our virtual ways.
Exactly.
So, thanks, everybody.
All right. Good night.
See you soon.